how do you develop an executive presence? It is a buzzword that's out nowadays in the professional world. And in this video, I'm going to share with you that executive presence starts with this one strategy that you need to do to start developing your executive presence. So if you are a woman in leadership and you have been wanting to enhance or perhaps develop your executive presence, then this video is going to share with you a very powerful insight that will help you to start getting yourself to that next level as a woman in leadership. Now, if you are watching this video right now, you are watching the replay, and I appreciate you so much for being here to watch the replay today. There's so many things that happen in the world today professionally, and before I go into all of that and how you can develop your executive presence with this one strategy, I do want to say that this is a live video, and there is a point in time on YouTube when people join the live, and if I have some people attend, then I will greet them and say hello, and I'll go right into what you need to do to get started with either enhancing or developing your executive presence as a woman in leadership. As I mentioned, this is a buzzword now, and I want to know from you in the comments below, what do you think executive presence means? Put it in the comments below. Let me know what you think executive presence means. Oftentimes I hear people talks about how you are dressed, or it talks about how you speak to other people, or how you manage situations. Often, there's been so many videos on my channel where I talk about executive presence, and I talk about how being able to handle very difficult or challenging situations is something that is very important in terms of how you're managing your executive presence. I have a lot of videos on my channel that talk about this, so if you are wanting to get started or trying to enhance your executive presence, feel free to spend some time on my lives. I go into this in a lot more detail. So take some time to take a look at that. But I want to start off by saying that the number one strategy that anyone can do when they are trying to either develop their executive presence or they're trying to enhance their executive presence is to prepare. So before I go into why preparing is critically important in terms of developing your executive presence, I want to say hello, and welcome to all of you who are joining today. Feel free to let me know what part of this big, beautiful world you are joining from today. And if you have questions, any questions as it relates to how to develop your executive presence, this is the place for you to be today. Feel free to ask me any questions as it relates to executive presence and how to enhance your executive presence, because I am going to let you all know what some strategies and techniques will help you do that. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet and you like this content so far, then feel free to subscribe to the channel. I talk about next level communication skills all day, all the time. And I want to also mention that I am celebrating 55,000 views on my channel. So I thank you all for joining today and being present and being here live with me to help me reach this huge milestone in my channel. So let me say hello. We have Gareth. Hello, welcome, welcome. Rumi. Hello, welcome, welcome. Take over, Tara. Hello, welcome, welcome. How are you all doing today? If you can let me know where you are joining from, I would appreciate that. And if you have any questions as it relates to executive presence, leadership development, enhancing how you communicate, dealing with difficult situations, then this is a place for you to be. Ask me anything. So we talked a bit about executive presence, and it starts here. So for those of you who have just joined, executive presence starts with being able to prepare in advance. Many times people think executive presence is this mystical unicorn that people hear about. They see it, they've heard about it, they know it exists, but they're not exactly quite sure what is it. And so I want to know from you in the comments, what do you think executive presence is? Let me know in the comments below so I can see what your thoughts are on it. But executive presence is really the way that you carry yourself. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. It has a lot to do with how you carry yourself under pressure. That is a big part of executive presence, because executives are going to be the people that are the executioners. They're going to get things done. These are the individuals who have the ability to manage big projects or maybe even small projects, but these are the individuals that can get results. And the reason they are able to get results is that they plan ahead. And preparing is the number one skill strategy that you will need to have if you are trying to develop or enhance your executive presence. If you feel like your executive presence is not where it needs to be, then let's think about why that is. What is it that you might need to plan for that may help you enhance your executive presence? So I'll give you some examples. There's a couple things that come up for my clients that I work with when they're trying to enhance or develop their executive presence as it relates to planning. So before I go into that, I want to say hello, cute girl. Hello, welcome, welcome. Let me know what part of the world you are joining from today. And if you have any questions as it relates to enhancing your executive presence, this is a place for you to ask me anything today. We talked about how this is really, really important. This is huge because if you can prepare what you're going to say, how you are dressed, what it is that you need to prepare for in terms of objections or challenges people may have to you, this is how you start to develop your executive presence. If you are not prepared, and you go into a meeting and you haven't thought about what it is specifically that you want to say, what potential objections that you may encounter or challenges you may encounter to a meeting, it will automatically cause your executive presence to go down. And this is something that I do not want you to do. This is the reason why preparing is so important. Executive presence starts here, and executive presence starts with preparing. Those of us who have developed the executive presence, I'll tell you from my perspective of being a C-suite executive, a manager, and a director for over 20 years, I want to share with you as to why I prepare and what I actually do before I go into a meeting. Are you ready? And I hope that this will help you as you're trying to develop your executive presence or enhance it. But before I go into specifically what I do, hello, cute girl. Cute girl says, I'm into singing. Okay, well, fantastic. Well, singing is very important. You have to have an executive presence for singing also, because when you're singing, you have to be able to capture people's attention. And you only are able to do that is if you develop your executive presence. So it is not only just for those individuals who are in leadership roles. If you are singing, then singing is a form of leadership also, because you have to lead when you are singing. So just want to tie that in. But this is some things that I do to prepare that I hope will help you all as you're trying to develop your executive presence, or you're trying to enhance your executive presence as either a woman in leadership or a man in leadership. I know many of you watch my channel, you know my focus is women in leadership, but I know we have everybody here on the channel, and this is important regardless of what gender you are. So if I have a meeting that I'm going into, I do a couple of things first. The night before I pick out what I'm going to wear. What type of meeting is this? Is this a very casual meeting? Is this going to be a meeting where I need to have a very bold, bright color on, depending on if I really want to stand out or not? Or is this just a normal meeting I go to every single day? So I figure out what exactly am I going to wear? What is the most appropriate attire that I need to wear for this type of meeting? The second thing that I do is I think about what specifically it is that the meeting is about. Most of the time as leaders, we know what the meeting is going to be about, or we have an idea at least, hopefully. Sometimes you're caught off guard, and if you are, watch my live video about what to do when you're caught off guard. So definitely check that out. But most of the time we have some idea in terms of what the meeting is going to be about. And in the meeting, I think to myself, the meeting is going to be about this topic. What specifically do I need to prepare for this topic? So before I go into how I prepare for topics, let me see what's in the chat. Cute girl said, I love your voice. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate that. So when I'm preparing for a topic as it relates to my meeting, now remember, I'm doing this the night before or the day before. I typically like to do it beforehand. I like to know, what is the meeting about? What do I need to talk about? And I usually would narrow it down to either one or two topics that I need to personally discuss in this meeting that are very important. because when you have meetings, sometimes there may be a lot of dialogue. You may not be able to say everything you need to. So make sure you say the most important thing, whatever that is, and that should be at the top of your list. So I plan all this ahead of time. So the night before, I'm determining what do I need to wear, how do I need to appear as a leader in terms of my dress, and then what specifically do I want to talk about, what do I want to say. Then I've determined what I need to say. This is the one thing I need to say. And then from there, I will say, okay, this is what I wanted to say. What happens when somebody has a problem, or maybe they have a question, or maybe something's not clear of what I had to say? So I'll look into the topic, whatever the topic is. And if you work for an organization or if you work for another business, I look to see what's going on right now in the business. Is there anything, any news, any trends that I need to be aware of that may impact me as it relates to what I want to say in my topic at the meeting? So I look to see what's going on in the news. I look to see maybe company emails. What's the trend? What's going on? So I have the information. So if someone asks me questions, or maybe perhaps they're unclear, or maybe I have a challenge that someone gives me at a meeting, then I have a lot of data in my mind. And I just had a conversation with a client of mine about this a few minutes ago. And we were just talking about how in policy, because I've done some work in health policy before, policy, you have to know a little bit about a lot. And I would say this is probably a great way to prepare when you're trying to enhance your executive presence. You need to know a little bit about a lot. The same way as in policy. You have to know a little bit about a lot. And then some areas you need to just know more in. And so that's why I would prepare for whatever my topic is the day before. Prepare for my topic, look to see what's going on in the news as it relates to the topic, or see what's going on in the business or organization I'm communicating with, and prepare for any objections. This is what really allows people to miss out on enhancing their executive presence, is that they're not prepared for those objections, because they may come up. Someone may not agree with you. Someone may think what you're saying is not correct, all of that. So make sure that you're preparing for those objections in advance. Think about, what could somebody say to challenge me, or what may they think is not correct, or is there something that I haven't completed that I should have, and they're going to bring it up. So make sure you're planning for all that information in advance of your meeting. This is how you build your executive presence, and this is why executive presence starts here, meaning it starts here with planning in advance. Now, if you like this information so far, give me a thumbs up. It actually does help this video get out to more people. And so let me see what else is in the chat before I talk to you more about what I do to plan in advance. Okay, so Cute Girl says, she said, cool, and never give up. Absolutely. You definitely don't want to give up when it comes to leadership, or when it comes to enhancing your executive presence. We all have days where things go great. We all have days when things do not go as well as we'd like for them to. And so what Cute Girl said is a very good reminder to anyone who maybe is watching this video right now, and you feel like you've been trying to develop your executive presence. It hasn't worked out the way you like for it to be, and you're still struggling with it. Maybe what's happening is you're noticing people are treating you differently, or maybe people are not listening to you, or you're getting passed for promotions and roles and etc. Never give up, as Cute Girl said. Don't give up. Continue to try. Feel free to reach out to me for an executive strategy session if it's something that you want to go into more detail with and have a conversation about. And absolutely watch my videos. I talk a lot of information in the videos about communication and strategies, techniques, interviewing. We talk about a lot of things. I say this all the time on my channel, is that people become great by how they communicate. And if you can communicate at that higher level, then you will be able to do those amazing things that I know you want to do, because you're watching my channel and you all are the type of leaders that we need in the world today. So I gave you a bit of a background into what I do literally to prepare for meetings. I gather data. Either I'm looking at articles online, or I'm collecting data before the meeting. I have my numbers in place so that I know specifically what it is I need to talk about. And if I have some numbers, I definitely want to talk about numbers in my topic, or whatever it is I need to speak about. If you can give some form of statistics, it automatically elevates you as a leader, and it showcases you as someone who is very intelligent, that has an executive presence. because you're showcasing your knowledge and your expertise that other people may not have. The other thing I will do when I'm preparing for a meeting is to determine if there's anyone I need to have a conversation with before the meeting. Maybe there is a project that's outstanding that I have not had the opportunity to complete, or maybe I need to get some information about it, etc. Then I will ask them and talk to them about it before I go into the meeting. So let me go see what's going on in the chat. Cute Girl says, sorry, I have to go. No problem. I'm glad that you were here. Appreciate your feedback and telling everyone to never give up. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. This is a great place where I talk about a lot of information as it relates to leadership, communication. I focus on women in leadership like yourself. So feel free to just watch the replay and just join at any point in time and check out my live videos. And I'll see you next time, okay? So bye also. Yes. So I make sure I talk to the people that I need to speak with as it relates to projects. So if there's any loose projects, or I would say maybe some conversations I need to have before whatever this meeting is, then I will have those ahead of time. I will plan that. Either we'll have a text message or I'll have a call. Just depends on when I have the chance to prepare. But I usually like to prepare for meetings at least the day before. Worst case scenario, if I have to prepare late, meaning the day of, then some of those conversations may not have had an opportunity to be discussed yet, and I may just allude to those into a meeting. So these, I'm sorry. I have been talking for a very long time this evening. These are the steps that I do specifically to help develop and enhance executive presence for my clients and for myself. Literally, I do these steps for every single meeting that I have in advance because I want to make sure that I am prepared for these meetings. So when you go into these meetings and you're trying to showcase your executive presence, you are showcasing it because you've already planned everything out. You know exactly how you want to present yourself. You know exactly what you want to say. You know exactly how to deal with an objection if it comes up. You know all those things. And if this is something that you've been struggling with as a woman in leadership or as a leader, and you feel as if I'm trying to do this, but I'm being overlooked for promotions, I feel like I'm not being heard at my particular role, then reach out to me. Contact me for an executive strategy session. We'll talk about it and see what we can do to get you to that next level as you're developing your executive presence. Perhaps you're transitioning into a manager role or to a C-suite role or to another senior leadership role, or maybe you are transitioning from the C-suite into your business and you are in a different setting now. Executive presence is critically important. It is something that you have to have. And the very, 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 very first step in enhancing your executive presence is to prepare. Now, if you like this information, feel free to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the video. Subscribe to the channel. We have a lot of content here that helps you specifically as it relates to how you can communicate at that next level as a leader. And if you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Let me know what topics you all want to learn more information about. I will do a video just for you. I have a couple videos lined up so far. I'm looking forward to learning more about what it is that's important to you as my audience so that I can help support you on your journey so you can communicate at that higher level than your peers and you can stand out as the amazing leader that I know that you are. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you all, and let me know if you have any questions specifically as it relates to developing your executive presence. I'm here to support you on your journey. And once again, thank you all so much for helping my channel to reach it's so exciting to say it, 55,000 views. Can you believe that? That's a huge milestone for me. I did not know we were going to transition to this many views, but 55,000 views is a lot of views. To me, I have a smaller channel, but to me, it means the world. So I appreciate you all for just being here, being supportive, and engaging with me here lives. As you know, I spend most of my time on my lives here, and I'm really looking forward to learning more about you and what you want to learn. Make sure you watch the videos on my channel. The next video I would refer to you about executive presence is going to be Think on Your Feet. This is a great video for you to watch. Check out Think on Your Feet and then Patience and Leadership. Those are two videos that will go hand in hand with this topic. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.